Chuck Hogan. They wrote a trilogy of books, and apparently they made it into a show.
What, The Strain?
Yeah.
Well, it must have been a great trilogy. I'll read them. They probably talk about the people's origins more. But yeah, that kid in that show, The Strain, is just...
And he's
about
in...
as dumb as the kid. He's not in this. He's just equally as just fucking stupid. As he just
irritating.
Does the classic, like... You know, we're like, our parents just don't play that shit. You're like, you don't know anything. You're a child.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And these kids in every one of these situations think they know more than their parents.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time, it never fails. You're like, you know what, Dad? You're a fucking liar. And then they just do some of the dumbest shit that causes so much death.
You know what's so funny is, like, kids in movies, that didn't, like kids being a character that people care about, that adults would care about in a movie, wasn't a thing until The Goonies. Because it's like, that was the first movie where kids were, like, not dumb and not just like, oh, hey, Dad. You know, like, movies in the 70s, 60s. But, like, The Goonies was, like, the first time where, like, we follow kids and the kids are smart and the adults are out. There's no adults in the movie. And, like, kids... That, like, started maybe, like, that was the start. And then the evolution of kids in movies is, like, shithead kids of being like, fuck you, Dad, kind of thing, you know?
Was the Warriors out before?
The Warriors was, like, 77, I'm pretty sure.
That was before the Goonies.
Yeah.
Because that was the only other time you would see, like, before that, kids without their parents were depicted as, like, you were always in trouble doing something just always up to no good. Like, everything was always, like, satanic panic adjacent, like, on its way to just debauchery. Like,
like,
maybe was always like, if your parents aren't around, your kids are out doing crime. And then they made every movie, like, they made a whole movie about a city being taken over by teenage gangs. Like, that's insane. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, that's like the Warriors is great. Did you ever play the game?
I did, actually.
That game, I played the game before I saw the movie.
Oh, that's crazy.
And because of my brother, like, I think we got it from Blockbuster or something. But that was like it was like Grand Theft Auto. Did Rockstar make that game? I don't think Rockstar made it. I don't know.
It was somebody known. I remember the cover art. Gameplay was very similar to something.
That's like all-time PS2 games.
Yeah, it wasn't captivating to me, but I do remember playing it.
But I think, anyways, but 28 years later.
Yeah, I mean, just we hate the kid. A lot of dicks out. You know, I kept hearing people talk about that with the movie.
Ray Fiennes, that guy?
Crazy.
Who's Ray Fiennes?
The bald dude. No,
Voldemort. His dick wasn't out.
Okay.
No, it was the zombie's dick was out. It was called an alpha zombie.
Is Cillian Murphy in the movie?
No, he executive produced it though.
Oh, but I finally watched Pluribus.
Nice.
And I get what you mean, because before I was like, is it about COVID or is it about... Because you were right. The first episode, literally they explain kind of what's happening. I mean, obviously I haven't watched the whole show. I watched the first 2 episodes. And you guys watched the whole show? Well, the first episode, it was like one of those things where, like, you don't know what's happening, but you're like still like, what the fuck is going, like, what's even going on? Because it starts off with the scientist dudes, because even that, where you're like, it's a pattern, or it's this wide, and like his fingers are like that, and you're like, wait, what? Like, so every little, I like that. It was one of those things where you're like, every little step, it could be seen as boring. I feel like a lot of people might be like, what the fuck, it's too weird, too
good.
Yeah.
Weed them out then. I'm sick of this. Like, when you starting to hear creators admit that these producers and stuff are like, you need to tailor it so for people who are on their phone, you're like, kiss, like, no, motherfucking.
That's kind of like, what was I was just talking to Domingo and Titi on the Patreon. Shout out to Patreon. Go subscribe to the Patreon. Talking about Predator Badlands. Have you guys watched that?
I just watched that the other night, actually.
I watched it had to turn it off because I didn't hate it, but I was like watching it towards the end of the day. I was tired, and I was just like, I don't know if this movie actually sucks, but I'm just gonna turn it off. I'm not gonna take it out on the movie that I had a long day. But when I was watching it, I was just like, it feels like they're just telling us everything that's happening while we're watching it happen. Like, at least I watched the first 30 minutes, and it felt like a video game.
I feel like there's a part of me that appreciates Predator Badlands for doing that. You're like, listen, guy, kind of like Spider-Man No Way Home or like Homecoming, where you're like, dude, let's just skip over all of the expose. You know how we got here. You know who the fuck these people are. If you don't, go fucking look up a Wikipedia information thing. Catch up and let's get already. You know the Yautja are this hunting base, like hunter.
Did you
base.
watch the Killer of Killers animation show?
No, not the animation one. That one was I think that animation style is not mine. The frame rate, something's off, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm thinking about how I remember it, I turned it on for like 2 seconds. I was like, I don't think I like the animation style.
But from what I saw, it was like, from the beginning, it had to be, I was just in a weird headspace, but it was just like him walking into the big, was it like a big ship, or it was like a cave they walk into when the two brothers are fighting?
Yeah.
And like him walking in and being like, I can sense you, brother. And then they start fighting, and then you fight just like father. And it's just like nailing on the head, like they're related. Remember. And then, even though we just started watching this movie, and then the dad shows up, sends the brother sends the kid off, instead of decapitating him, like executing him right in front of the father, like the father told him to. He's like lets them escape, and then the father kills him. And then what really just like made me stop watching is when he arrived on that planet, to where it was like all. Like, just it was like
everything death.
Everything is like a predator. Even the plants and shit like have defense mechanisms.
I think I appreciate stuff like that, because I recognize what they're trying to do is not to humanize, essentially, but you have to give them more culture. We don't know
that's what threw me off.
We don't. You're like making them less like mindless.
Yeah.
They're not just out here like, oh, I want to kill things.
Yeah, where they're just a predator. They don't like talk. And that's what threw me off in the very beginning. I was like, they're talking. They're having like dialogue. They have like senses of humor.
But when they've never
being,
had
like,
to talk to each other.
Sarcastic.
Remember? Yeah. Remember, I think that's what it was. I think that's probably what some people was like off-putting. You're like, I just kind of want the 80s Predator. You're like, this motherfucker was just like, I want to kill humans because I'm one of.
And he didn't even. It was the clicking noises, like that shit's cool. But I don't know.
A lot of grunting, a lot of like just.
But they clicked the whole the movie. I do like movies like that. Like I was saying about the MonsterVerse movies, where you can show people like exuding emotion through their face. So like Predator, they did way more like eyebrows and their mouth moved, and it was still clicking. They never made them speak in like in English like that. It was always like the clicking noise. So to me, it never took me out of it. I think it was just like I think I also didn't have.
Sorry, keep going.
No, go ahead.
What was the one Predator movie we just watched the other day?
Oh, Predator. Okay.
Prey?
No, we watched.
What?
Hold on, because remember, there's predators,
and then there's the Predator. Yeah.
Then there's Predator. We watched The Predator.
The Predator. That's the Shane Black one, 2018.
Is that the one with Key? Key.
Yeah,
Key
it is.
Peele? And it was like essentially at the time like a star-studded cast. You're like, not star-studded, but they were
it's like
the
you kind
B-level.
of know everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Olivia
recognizable.
Everybody was like the highest B-level actor that has existed at the time. So I think, but Amanda was like, I've never seen this one. This is good. And I was like, it's not a bad movie. I told you, like,
It's not terrible.
I
I
actually
was
own
really
that
into
movie
it.
on
I
Apple
was really
TV.
into it.
That was like
you
one of
own that?
Yeah, I bought it on my phone. I don't know why.
But that kind of started the like these people, these predators aren't just these like I want to kill. He had like he was witty. He was like, this is what I want. You learned about their genetic like breeding program. So you're like, that was caste systems and like
directed by Shane Black, which Shane Black was an actor in the first Predator movie, and then he went on to direct and Iron Man. He actually directed Iron Man 3, and then I think The Predators was his first movie after Iron Man 3.
I could see that because
I'd have to go watch Iron Man 3.
Going to be brighter than a Predator.
Iron Man 3, that's my number one. I think that's my number one Marvel movie.
Iron Man 3 was such a great like transitional movie.
It's the best like, Tony Stark movie.
No, yeah. Like, 100%. It's not an Iron Man movie. You said that before on the podcast. It's a Tony Stark
Go back
movie.
to the old episodes. We've been on it.
Are they up still? I thought
they're still up. I haven't taken them down, or I'll yeah. It's dude.
Get employed.
I don't even want to go back and listen to a second of those.
I do not sound like a social worker in those podcast episodes.
Yeah, and dude,
I knew that, but you know, and I knew this was. We knew this was going to come. Like eventually, we're going to like, yo, we're going to have to take these down. I think we might even said it then. We're like, we're going to take these down.
Yeah, because it's just like
not make them public. That's a better. We're not going to let.
We're not going to make them public. Yeah. And because
don't be no fucking snitch neither, dog.
Yeah, and when people tell me like, oh, like I didn't know you had a podcast. Like I listened to like an episode or two, and I'm like, ugh, why? Like, why?
You know the kids just said they listened to an episode the other day, and I said, what were we talking about? And they said The Rock. And I said,
"Oh, that was the last episode we did."
And like, it's cool. Like, I'm like, wait till you're 40 to listen to.
Yeah. That's so crazy because what we're doing right now. I thought about. I was literally brushing my teeth this morning, and I was like, "What if like in 10 years, like we're still doing the podcast, and like Zoe wants to be on? And like, how old is Zoe now?
13.
Yeah, so 23, 2 years younger than me right now. Like." Talking to her, having a conversation with Zoe sounds insane to me. Like,
it is insane. I think about it often.
You guys are you guys are like, I
Please do not even say that because Zoe continues to say that every other day.
It's so fucking annoying.
I think I'm literally to them, but
yeah, we're just mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
right?
Like mom and dad are old kind of thing.
Exactly. That's what they keep saying.
That's crazy.
And then they go
but
to
then
school
again,
and like,
I was the same age as my mom and dad. You know what I mean? As far as like
when
age-wise,
you guys
with
have,
us
you
and
guys
Zoe.
have the same years of separation.
Yeah, we had.
I never thought about
our first kid at the same time. But I'm like, dang, I thought my parents were old, and in kind of in reality they were because it was like 80s, 90s. You know, like as far as like. Conservative family values wise, they were.
Yeah.
But they were still really young. They were only like in their 30s when I came to like cognition of like what reality is.
Right.
You know, they were still young. I remember my dad getting his tongue pierced. Okay?
I didn't even know that.
This was before you were born.
You didn't. I had an entire tirade about this guy in high school from the class of 2005 who got a tongue ring and how that blew the mind of everybody at Surrattsville High School. I mean, from 2005 to 2008, we were all mind blown. And then you did not say, my father had a tongue ring.
Tongue ring. A tongue ring? Like, how did that, like...
He got his tongue pierced at... I think he turned 30. I think he turned 30 and was like, fuck it. Why not? But again, this is like Fred Durst. You know, this is his prime Fred Durst era.
And he was OG
this was
Fred
prime.
Durst.
Like, I'm talking like Iron Knockers, like, You know what I'm saying? Backwards,
Did it all for
hat,
the
the
nookie.
whole nine. Yes,
Fucking
exactly.
no.
And then I don't even think it lasted that long either, because my mom was like, "Yeah, ew," like the ick kind of thing, where she was like,
it's funny that
"I'm not
mom
really here
had to
for it."
like put up
Also, because he
with it.
smokes. He's a smoker. He's not gonna sit there and wait and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna wait for this shit to heal."
Oh yeah,
before
yeah.
I can like do anything. No,
Zero
fuck that. He
patience
said,
on it. Fuck it.
Trash. Right. Fucking however much money he spent at the time, probably like $30. That shit might have been free. Who knows?
Who knows?
He was, you know what I'm saying? He was like, had tattoo friends. He had.
Yeah, because they were.
He was young.
28, 29 when I was born.
Yeah, they were 30.
Yeah, they were like pretty much 30 when I was born.
So could you imagine? And this is with the dark sideburns. You know what I'm saying? Backwards hat.
So and goatee, not beard.
Goatee, not beard. Goatee.
Like
no mustache.
Not even goatee. Like flavor saver, like soul patch. Which is an insane look at any era.
I'm trying to find a picture. I can't find one.
Yeah, do you have a picture on your phone, Minda? Try to show it to them.
I might have. I might.
I don't have one on my phone. I thought he might send one on their anniversary, but none of them are the Durst.
Yeah, the Fred Durst,
Christopher McGeorge.
And what's so funny is when you say Fred Durst, he's like, no, like he's like completely like either
he's it's all about the nookie. What are you talking about?
And so he like either denies it or he's like, oh, I did it before. It's like, dude, you have to accept. Like, you were a white dude wearing a backwards cap.
I think it might have been a wave. I think it was just I don't know if Fred Durst started it as much as it was just like it happened all at once. Nah, that nigga might have started.
The white male rage, dude. Like, that was prime, like, white dudes were pent up. Y2K.
This was like Y2K, Papa Roach, like this was
got my life into pieces.
Yeah, height of Warp Tour, like it's not even grunge and dirty. It's like, bitch, we do this on purpose.
Ripping someone's head off. Yeah.
Crazy.
That's like, then that evolved into like Spike TV. Like, I don't think my dad went that route. Like, if dad was like a single bro, never had kids, never nothing, he'd probably turn into
No, I don't have any on my phone. You'd have to look in the
I like to imagine he turned into like a like those early pictures. Like UFC dude, because remember we were watching UFC when it was on Spike TV. Do you remember Spike TV?
Was like Spike TV was like probably the original thread to the red pill movement for young men right now. Like that is all like the man show.
If you watch Spike TV, you probably started listening to Joe Rogan.
150,000%.
Yeah,
it is the same thread that turns into Andrew Tate, that turns into like it's the same thread.
The
Spike
manosphere.
TV was very like.
Do you remember? Was there a show called Mansplain? Wasn't there?
I think so. It was all kinds of man stuff. Yeah, it was all kinds of.
It was called Mansers.
Stuff. Like, this is the safe space, which is good. I like having a safe space.
There's
for
a safe space for
sometimes safe
people
space
get that shit off.
For men is just
like they showed UFC.
Isn't like but it's like what space isn't free for you to say whatever you want
when you're
just saying.
But I mean, nobody's free from consequence. I think everybody's free to say what they want, but nobody's free from consequence.
Exactly.
Right.
And some people's consequences might not be all, at their own doing.
Like getting your brother's head chopped off because your daddy don't love you. That's from Predator Badlands.
I thought my head went to Walk Hard, where he halves his brother. I've been halved.
The wrong son died. That's such a crazy thing to say to somebody.
Wrong kid died. That's a fucking.
I always say, we wasted the wrong surprise on you.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not even what the
Big Daddy.
quote is, but yeah.
We wasted a good surprise on you.
Yeah, we wasted a good surprise on you.
But.
Pluribus.
Pluribus. I guess we should just get into it.
I mean, yeah.
Just what are your thoughts so far? Because you only watched the first 2 episodes,
So far,
are you going to continue?
Yeah.
Are you going to continue watching it?
Yeah, I like it because it's still, after 2 episodes, I feel like it could go anywhere. Because after the first episode, I was like, I can't end here. Like, this is like too much just happened in 1 episode. Like I said, it started with the scientist, and then it goes to her in a Barnes and Noble, like signing the books and stuff, and then all the fucking lines of fans. And then they go to that bar, and then that's when the shit goes down. And then it's so funny because the scientist was that one Indian, the cab driver from Deadpool. Mr. Poole.
Yeah.
Yes. That and he was funny. And then so anyways,
Are you sure that was him?
it was him for sure.
Okay, all right, cool.
I that's like the first person I recognized. And then I don't know his name though. And then I just thought it was funny. It is similar to Breaking Bad. Like it is like these things like happening and you're seeing it play out, but then like it's so like random and what the fuck. Sometimes you're like, what the like you're just like, what the hell is going on kind of thing. And then and it's realistic. Like if I don't know if like if this really happened, like even the way of
reality.
Yeah. And like even the way they described it and like the way they explain everything that's going on, I thought was really clever because it's so hard. Like for me, you know, obviously writing and practicing writing movies, it's hard to like, it's called exposition, to where like it's dialogue that explains what's happening in the story. Christopher Nolan is like infamous for having, it's like hit or miss exposition with Christopher Nolan movies. Like with Inception, like there's like so every other scene is explaining what's happening, but it's like it's still good kind of thing. So it's hard to do stuff like hard to write, especially, you know, for shows, you know, kind of like making it seem natural and organic. So like the way they did it in the show, to where it's like she's literally sitting at the house and she sees the TV and she calls the thing, and then the president, it's not even the president, it's like the secretary of whatever, like it's like so far down the line, which I thought that was fun. It's just like it's this random dude that no one knows. Oh, the agriculture.
Some guy in a
was
suit.
It? Yeah, the secretary of agriculture.
And
so
so,
it would have to be like the 200th person if the president died.
right. And so, yeah, that I thought was like a clever way to do it, for him to literally be like, explaining what's happening to her. It's like a virus, but he's like, but then again, it's not like a virus at all, because it's more. How did he describe it? It was like
because it's based on RNA.
Yeah,
It's
RNA.
not, it's not technically a virus, which is just.
So it sends like a signal to us and makes us turn into like ants. I guess that's what I got from it. Like it's like this signal from like light years away, like hundreds of light years away, and like they don't fully know what's going on either. Like, and that's a thing in the show right now. They're trying to figure out, like I think in the second episode, the main girl, who's great, she's a great actress. Like,
Yeah,
she's
the blonde lady.
She was in Better Call Saul, and then she actually directed 1 episode of Better Call Saul. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like she's.
I didn't watch Better Call Saul, so.
I never watched it. I've heard it was good. I watched Breaking Bad. Loved Breaking Bad. El Camino.
Can you see the similarities?
Yes, obviously New
Visually?
Mexico, like or Albuquerque is
Yep.
like.
Yep.
And then I wrote that down too, like in my notes. I was like, Breaking Bad is Albuquerque. Eddington, I don't know if you guys watched Eddington with Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal. That's in Albuquerque. And then Oppenheimer was obviously the New Mexico, Los Alamos. And then there's that show from a couple years ago with Emma Stone and the Nathan For You guy called The Curse. That was in New Mexico too. And so like there's so many things like set in New Mexico, not just like filmed there, but it's like on purpose. That's the setting, and people try to go for that like middle. It's a not even a city. It's just like, it seems like a town in the middle of the desert. You know what I mean?
Because you've never been to Albuquerque. That's why.
Because no one's ever.
Let me tell you.
It's literally like one of those things where it's like, what the fuck is there?
It's because you've never been to Albuquerque, bruh.
I've driven through there twice in my life, and I said,
Oh,
I thought
man.
each time was going to get better. I've been 6 years apart from each other, and I said, fuck. Can't
No way this
find
looks
it. Can't
exactly
see
the
it.
same.
Can't see it. I tried to find. Hey, listen, Albuquerque is very southwestern. It's beautiful.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's more
in that
southwestern
sense.
than Arizona.
100%.
Oh my god.
That's
You
the
talk-
real Southwest. You
That
want to
shit
talk about
might as well-
Southwest?
yeah. You might
Yeah.
as well call that fucking place turquoise.
Right.
Because god damn. I've never seen more turquoise in my life than in New Mexico.
Yeah, it's just, I just thought that was funny because, and the thing about Vince Gilligan is that's why, the reason why he chose Albuquerque for this show was because because there's people in Albuquerque that he likes them and he just wants to give them more work. And he's just like, I want to work with the same people. I want to work with the same. So it's like brought on the same crew, extras, in which that's another thing watching too, all the extras, like especially from the bar. And like
That's what me and
the
Rob were
amount
talking
of-
about too.
I was like, imagine like trying to direct this, dude, and being
But
like,
they look so regular. They made sure that there's just
The
everybody,
most
everybody.
random people that you know would never be in. I was about to say something, but you're only in that second episode, so
yeah.
it's just most random people.
And I'm excited to watch it because Vince Gilligan, he was one dude that like even after Breaking Bad, after I liked El Camino, the Breaking Bad movie, I was just like, he needs to maybe he'll make more movies. Like maybe he'll, and I always wondered what he'll do next. And then when the trailer for this came out, I remember seeing it and being like, what the fuck is this about? Which they did a great job of like not really exposing like what the story is before it came out. And I like when people do that. Like, cause I remember when Marty Supreme was coming out, people were like, I know it's about ping pong, but I don't know what it's about. And it's just like, well, fine. That's fine. Like, why does that cause any outrage? Why do you need to know what something's about before it comes out? Like, just go fucking watch it. You know what I mean?
It's not a recession, but money's tight, and people want to make sure. At this point in life, we trying to make sure we getting our money's worth.
Right.
I understand that sentiment. It's like I think if you're a cinephile, you have that like just go find out. But for most people, I am not trying to, especially the way movies cost. Like, why did I take the kids in the movies and it was like $90 for 3 of us? Like that was insane. So I better make sure that it's like this was. I'm not trying to leave out of there like, bro, I just wasted $90. That nobody wants to feel that.
Which that makes sense, but that's what sucks about that usually happens with movies where there's kind of like a push for it, where like especially that comes from executives of like the way it's made and the way it's produced. You know, you produce a piece of shit, especially with like Disney, like for example Marvel movies. It's where it's like for the past since Endgame, like people have been upset about how bad the movies are made. Like I remember we talked about it on the podcast too, about how like Disney being like, we're trying to do these things, but we don't have the money or the resources or the time. And like they're coming out with release dates for movies before there's even a script. And just like, that's not how movies are made. You know what I mean? And that is why
Too much hype.
Martin Scorsese said like Marvel movies aren't he said it's not,
They're not real movies.
It's not
They're
cinema.
not cinema.
Yeah. He's like, because that's what he means. It's like they're just not made the same. It's not the same approach. It's not the same. It's not like a Martin Scorsese movie. It's Disney being like, let's pick this
Sell
and
products.
make it.
Yeah.
Let's sell something. It's for for profit.
That's
kind
why
of thing.
you have to watch the studio.
Mhm.
It literally there's
another
an
Apple
entire
TV,
episode. That is another. There's an entire episode about what you just said about Martin Scorsese And I think it's a very
Isn't he in it?
fair
Martin Scorsese plays himself in it.
Yeah, he's like Martin Scorsese in the movie. Like it's him in a movie studio, and they're talking about making a movie with Martin Scorsese. So
I gotta watch that show.
It's very fair because the tone of the show is set from the first episode. And this can be said. He was like, we don't do films, we make movies. And that's what it was, because Bryan Cranston is like the CEO of the company, and he said, we don't make films, we make movies. And he was trying to let him know, because Seth Rogen in the movie or the show is a very like cinephile type of guy. Like he would be like you, like dude, I didn't work my way up from being a PA, and now I'm trying to make movies. And now I'm like this big time studio exec.
Yeah, because I've seen some clips, and I was literally talking to Menda about like the clip that I saw. It's where it's like, where it was like relatable, where it's like you see like he's like film like celluloid, like it's so beautiful, like even the imperfections can make it, you know, that's just makes it feel like magic. And he was just like, it makes you wonder why, you know, why would not every movie be shot like this? And he was like, it's just so beautiful. And the guy who's like the projectionist who's like developing the film, he's like, it's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what are those? That's the reality of it. To where it's just,
I think
it's more money, it's more time spent on lighting.
The show really drives home the dichotomy between like being an artist and like making money. Like they 100%, even like Catherine O'Hara's character in the show talks about that. She was like, these people are artists, and then there's like us. And they're the artists. She was like, artists are insane people. Like they don't think logically. So that's what they ask for. Like these people are like, yeah, just give me like $20 million to make my vision come true. And she was like, we're like the people who are like, just okay, we're gonna make you happy, but like that you have to play their game for a real artist. And I think the show does a really good job of that. Like sometimes, motherfucker, you gotta think about the fact that you gotta make money. Like
like how this is an industry, especially when you're with the studios and stuff like that. Like these are $1 billion like corporations, $1 billion studios, Paramount, Universal, like the big ones, MGM.
There's even a episode about the 3.5 hour movie, how that's like the 3.5 hour movie, and then they just kind of cut to like the conversation between studio heads, movie theaters, the director, the lead actor, who's actually an executive producer on the back end. Like, and there's this hectic episode where it's like they're working with this legendary director. I'm not going to tell you who, but it's like a 3.5 hour art house type style movie, and they're like, this fucking scene makes me want to blow my brains out. But you're like, we can't tell this person. We hate this because they're really trying to balance that fact. Like, this is an artist, and we want him to work with us still. But we also have to deal with advertisers. What's her name who plays Agatha from Agatha All Along?
Catherine Hahn.
Yes. She plays the marketing like exec.
Hilarious.
Oscar-worthy performance.
I gotta watch that.
Hilarious. I'm so
Oscar-worthy
glad that she played a character and not like she didn't play like as herself, because as herself, you know, she's hilarious.
Yeah, she's.
But her playing a character within the show is just like boom, 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 boom.
I gotta check out that show, because it's funny that Martin Scorsese's in it, because one, there's that documentary on Apple TV about Martin Scorsese that they just made like last year that I want to watch that too. And Martin Scorsese made Killers of the Flower Moon, which was distributed by Apple TV. And which, like, it's funny how, because I think Apple TV might be the new place where like people go, as far as the, like, if you want to like tell, like they'll give you it's what Netflix was doing pre-COVID.
Apple TV can take risk that nobody else can because how rich they are.
Because they make phones, they make laptops, they make.
That's not their will. They're like, so it's really I agree with what you're saying. It's very like art housey over there. Like everything is shot. There's a tone to everything. Even the Monarch show, dude.
I was just about to bring that up. I haven't seen it, but that's not the based off the
Kurt
books.
Russell and his
or
son.
that's Godzilla World, right?
That's Godzilla MonsterVerse. So I mean, a
Wyatt
continuation. Wyatt Russell, that's his name. So I mean, just and I
U.S.
even
agent.
love that the interviews about that, like how I think that was their first time acting with each other.
Oh, that's
sick. I think that was their and they are. I don't know if they. I'm pretty sure in the show Wyatt played the younger version of his dad.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember.
But because before Netflix, before COVID, Netflix was the we'll let you do get a director, let them do whatever they want. Like remember Ballad of Buster Scruggs? That was them giving money to the Coen brothers, be like, yeah, make the Western that's 5 different stories. It's like an anthology. And it's like a 2.5 hour movie. Like make it. It's gonna go on Netflix. And then The Irishman, letting Martin Scorsese do The Irishman, letting Alfonso Cuarón make Roma. And Roma I think won an Oscar or something. I think they just let people do what they want, and I think that shit started to change once COVID happened. And then Apple TV turned into that, to where it's just I think Martin Scorsese made Killers of the Flower Moon and then was like, I made it, but I don't know who to give it to, kind of thing. And then Apple TV bought it.
Yeah. Because I feel like Netflix, much like anybody else, once a company goes public, they're slave to their own algorithm. COVID fucked up what was being watched on Netflix because people used to be outside. So people wasn't sitting in the house looking for the ratchetness that they were used to.
Right.
So then once you got inside and there was a sliver of ratchetness on Netflix and some annals of Netflix where they bought the rights to some housewife show or something.
Yeah.
Now you have Blind whatever and Crazy Stupid Love and some Love Islandness and blah,
all
blah,
the
blah,
reality
blah, blah.
TV.
All of that nonsense just upticked during COVID. And they just became a slave to the algorithm because the shareholders said,
this is what's popping.
And it's making people now. It brought people to Netflix. People were signing up for Netflix to watch the shows.
Not Love is it Love is Blind is one of them, and then there's the Love on the Spectrum.
Love on the Spectrum.
Yeah, there's a million of those shows. On
there's
Netflix.
1,000,001 dating shows on there.
And I never watched any of them, and I'm just I don't I get the reality TV in general. Is I get the appeal because naturally humans are I want to get a peek inside of how other people act, kind of thing. But then
especially negativity.
Yeah, Jersey Shore was probably the first big reality TV show.
Because we're all looking for answers to our own problems. If there's mess on TV and there's drama and there's issue and conflict, then how are they solving it?
Yeah, or it enables people.
A lot of it
to be this is how people react, this is how I should react to it.
And then also there's something to the underlying nature of man to see negativity because we're trying to prepare ourselves for how do we defend ourselves against this. So I think that's why we have such societal issues now, because people are consistently, that's why you keep having people call each other narcissists. You're sitting around watching this bullshit and you think you're able to fucking psychologize everything because you watch reality TV.
It's
we
people
were just
are
watching,
this.
Yeah, you're no. Could have been
so
love.
Everybody's a neurodivergent now. Nobody's.
No, but it's not even well, I think that's that whole
it's
neurodivergent
the self-diagnosing.
That's
right.
stupid.
It's
we're all neurodivergent because nobody's brain is wired the same, dickhead.
Right.
So of course everybody's divergent.
Right.
Neurology. Of course we're all neurodivergent. You asshole. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's
no one person is the same.
Yeah. When they say everyone is on the spectrum, where it's just well, then that ruins the purpose of a spectrum. I don't know.
It's so funny question. Roman asked, he's like, what's autism? because we were talking about something.
I'd be like, it's
He's
what you
what's
got.
autism?
If you ask me that.
And it was like it's so hard to explain to somebody what an entire spectrum is, especially a child. Like it doesn't necessarily even have a definition other than your brain functions differently than others.
Right.
You process and you input things differently.
And
than the next
anything
person.
can affect that and change that. Like the way you grow up, the environment you're surrounded, it's
right.
Everyone grows up in different parts of the world, and that doesn't make them less than or
and
dumber
that goes down to like your genetics, your bloodline, where you grew up, when your parents and grandparents were living, when those eggs were formed in their body type of thing. And
because isn't that the
you
thing
never know
where it's
you
like
never know.
You have a piece of like your grandma or something like that, like like the egg, like the what happens to like your grandma on your mom's side can like directly, like while she's pregnant with your mom, can affect you, not your mom, but just affect you and skip her. Like that's why like shit skipping a generation is a thing, is because of shit like that, I think.
Yeah, it's just genetics. Like that shit travels, trauma travels, all kinds of shit.
But going back to Pluribus, I thought I was immediately watching. I was like, okay, hive mind, collective consciousness. Like we all kind of. That's why I said ants. Like we kind of like all turned into ants, because like when you're seeing them like loading up the bodies onto the plane or whatever, and they're like all kind of working together, and I was like, like
without saying anything.
Yeah, and it's so like. I thought it was like funny that they're all trying to help her or like nice to her. They're all like extremely nice. And it's so like, yeah, that's how I would react. Like if, like imagine everyone is being, with no ulterior motive, is just being the most help to you. Like I'd be like, what the get the fuck away from me. Like I'd be her. I'd be like, what? No, like what? And then, but what really like hit me, where I don't think this was, obviously I'm not finished with the show, but like the part where I was like, okay, could be like what it's about, is when she just says like, fuck you, fuck every single one of you. And then like, they go into like a shock, like an epileptic shock. And she said like that killed people. Like that killed however many fucking people. Where it's like when you put out negative energy, and you're like mad and you're taking it out on other people, especially the people who don't deserve it, that can cause ripples and throughout the world really, but that can lead from one thing to another. And I thought that was like an amazing way to like put that on screen. You know what I mean?
It's a really sociologically I don't want to say sociologically based. I wouldn't know if that's what the case is, but I think if you were into that type of thing, you could really watch this show. Philosophy, sociology,
something like that.
Because it hits all of that stuff just from that standpoint. Like, what is humanity about? Like you said, like having everybody be nice to you makes you uneasy. You have to question that. Like, that really does make you like, oh yeah, when people are nice to you, you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like that's such a weird human
It's
reaction.
a weird like it's just the truth really. Yeah.
Like what the fuck? Like why are you being nice to me, bro? Like every man,
especially
feels that
when
way.
you react like that
man,
to them.
Yeah.
And then a happy man.
And man, every man is like, bro, what are you smiling so much for? What the fuck is
like
going
shit ain't
on?
Sweet.
Yeah, what's up with bro? Why you keep smiling so much? Like you're gonna be happy, but keep that shit to yourself.
Keep that shit over there, bro.
What is wrong with you? Like
sometimes it could be like that,
It really is, because you're like, he's been walking around smiling and happy all day. We legitimately think any man who's super happy has a mental disability.
Yeah.
That's how
like
weird
you're crazy.
it is.
You're a
I
psycho.
was literally just gonna, like literally something's wrong with you.
We think you on the spectrum. We like, what the fuck is this nigga smiling so much for? And that's so sad to think that way. That's not okay.
That's not
cool. Okay.
Because it is obviously love is the way. Love is
the way, man.
Right. That's the answer.
That's why it's a good show. It makes you like,
Yeah.
I'm in the show. I'm sitting here thinking like, Dog, can you imagine the relief of anxiety to be the one motherfucker who doesn't get brought into the fold?
Yeah,
but then you're like, nobody's trying to kill me now. What do I do?
What I thought was funny was seeing the dude. Then again, I'm second episode, but seeing the dude pull up in the Air Force One. I'm like, of course, there's someone who's like, because where my mind went, I was like, you can only imagine what he was doing before the shit happened. Like he was probably at a party or something. Like maybe it was lit and he was just like, you know what, fuck it, go get me Air Force One, and pulled up with baddies, pulled up with champagne, pulled up, and everyone else having their family and stuff like that. Like I don't know, it was just like a funny way to like show like how different people would react.
How different people, most people just would take advantage of exactly what was happening. Like, motherfucker, I'm about to start.
Because where my mind went, I was like, literally when she started digging the thing for her friend that died and burying, she wanted to bury her in the backyard.
You mean that was her girlfriend?
Her girlfriend. And the person that they sent that looked like the character in the book, but it was
Pirate
a girl.
Lady.
Which is like the pirate lady. And she started digging, and in my head, where my mind went,
that was a funny scene when she was like, wait a minute. And she said, stay right here. And then she ran inside and was like, what the fuck? She was so like disgusted with this. She said, what the fuck?
Yeah. and that would trip you out too. And especially the collective consciousness thing, to where like her memories went into the void. And now it's like and what I wrote down, I literally like, it's like talking to AI. It's like talking to ChatGPT. And it's like, when you talk to like, I don't know if you ever used ChatGPT, but it's like you put in, or you ask a question, or you do whatever, and then it just kind of, it's literally like how they talk, where it's like they try to come off nice and like like humane, and they have all the information you would need, and it's just like,
I'm in college, I use ChatGPT,
right? And so it's like, I don't know, it was just kind of like talking to a human version of an AI, like a voice of an AI.
I think it was like the mean answer. Like, and she says at some point in the show, she's like, it's like talking to Google, because of the collective consciousness of 7 billion people. They know everything.
It's like putting it into the system, like putting it onto the hard drive, to where it's like into the database, to where it's just like. They
definitely bring up how I think they do show in the show how individuality is so important sometimes. Like I think they kind of, maybe they don't say it outright, but there's a understanding that there's going to be kind of like a lack of creativity, because everybody's on one accord. Their creativity kind of stems from strife sometimes, or happiness. If everybody's happy, there's no like nothing to like sing against or write against, or there's no like basis for you. There's no feeling for you to
no
write
experience
from.
to be had.
But everybody's experience is now whatever is good for the collective consciousness. So I was watching this joint like, damn, Jimbo got vindicated. This nigga hate communism.
Yeah.
This is basically what this is saying. Like, when you give everything, you give up all of your individuality for the whole, like,
for just like them saying in the second
thing.
episode, when they were like, this is the greatest thing to ever happen to humanity, where you're like, but
like, you're not even, the problem is like, that's not humanity.
Right.
If we're not trying to hurt each other, then it's probably not humanity, unfortunately.
Then then it's not human, because it's like, there's like, how like they say your thumbs, like opposable thumbs, is what makes us human, but it's also like lying is what separates us from other animals too. Lying, like you could be like, oh yeah, there's there's a food in there, and then there's a fucking animal, and he gets killed, and now you like that. It's been like, lying has been what has made us human for years, for
that's why
centuries.
Yeah, they're lying, but then also I think it's again like we were saying with those disgusting bastards from the Epstein files and stuff.
Right.
It's like
Fuck 'em.
you have these aspects of humanity that people have bastardized. So we know that for a fact. It is because we work together like no other animal. That is why we have made the strides in technology and things like that. Because there's a point in history where we go, we all need to survive, so let's come together and think of things to make this easier and make it better. And like what can benefit the whole, even if I you know, look, we can even go like to Rockefellers. Even them people had like a sense of like, yeah, man, we don't want like a dumbass country, so they would fund colleges and shit like that. Like
they changed schooling. Like
like they made
literally said, I think it was John D. Rockefeller was like, we don't want thinkers, we want workers.
Yeah, but at least there's a level of like, I'm not trying to kill you all. I'm not trying to actively like disenfranchise the people in the country so I can make $1. I do want you to work for me and be beholden to me, but you're gonna make a couple dollars like at the end of it all. You can feel like you are providing for your family, that type of thing, where you have these people now who are like, yeah, let's start a war, let's erase jobs with AI, like let's get rid of schooling because fuck them. You shouldn't be paying for schooling. There's people who are like actively like, I don't want to pay for somebody else to go to school because I just don't like the fact that my taxes go to somebody and I don't have kids. Like, so I think that show is really good about society.
Yeah, but our tax dollars can go to Israel.
We said we was gonna save it for the pod. You can get into it if you want, but I agree. You know, you don't. And then you trying to listen, man. Nobody's trying to say schools are making everybody a freaking genius, but you don't want everybody to be actively dumb. I think that's a very bad thing for the country. You don't want people to actively not know how to do math. And what happened? You know how they say it take a village to raise a child? But what happened if the village is retarded? That nigga. That's not a good word, by the way. I was just quoting somebody from a news.
Someone else said it.
Yes, I was quoting at a source.
El Camino, Better Call Saul, co-created Better Call Saul, Vince Gilligan. This is his first thing. And what I liked about Vince Gilligan in general, because he did it in Breaking Bad, is that he kind of pushed the envelope of like what the kind of stories you can tell on TV. Like he was like one of the OG TV writer guys that are like popular, like the dude who made Sopranos. I think David Chase is his name. Like that guy, Taylor Sheridan, the guy who made or wrote Yellowstone. Like he's speaking of Taylor Sheridan real quick. Leaving, this isn't news, it's from a few months ago, but Taylor Sheridan is leaving Paramount, which he's a big Paramount guy. Like he holds a lot of, power there because he made Yellowstone. He made Tulsa King, that Sylvester Stallone movie show. He wrote Sicario. He wrote Hell or High Water. He wrote Sicario 2. He wrote that movie, that movie Wind River. It had the Olsen sister and Jeremy Renner. Mayor of Kingstown, that show with Jeremy Renner. Landman, Billy Bob Thornton. I'm just naming all his credits now.
Okay, well, have you seen an episode of Landman?
I saw the first episode.
That's all you need to see. You're like, I am fucking hooked on this show.
Yeah.
I get this. This nigga is whoever that. What's his name again?
Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah, Taylor Sheridan. Yeah, my nigga is.
He writes like modern, like what is modern day westerns.
Yeah,
like
he writes it like this is what's happening now in the West. That Landman, just the nasty, like the amount of money that is in this,
it's
just like
disgusting. Yeah,
I mean, just the entire. I told Amanda I loved it. Obviously, from a sociological standpoint, you get to watch. That's an entire culture. I remember one of my sociology classes. They gave us like an experiment about like, oh, what do you think about coal? And think of it from this point of view and from this point of view. And one of them was like an environmental lawyer and who was like, get rid of it. And then there's a kid who got sick. And then there's like, yeah, but I'm a co-worker and my family's been doing this for 3 generations. Mm-hmm. And if you get rid of this will legitimately devastate an entire economy in a town. Mm-hmm. Anybody who's listening or watching, drive through Texas or any fucking like old major town from back of the heyday of industrial America.
Yeah, industrial revolution.
It's one of the saddest things to see these old entire towns in Texas are destitute. Like there's just abandoned suburbs.
Yeah, there's like abandoned mines.
There's just like, but I mean, like it's like towns of like people are just like, I'm not living there no more. Mm-hmm. Like there's like you can see that there were stores, but like industry changes and then the entire
that's how is gone. Towns were made.
Yes,
like literally, like it's like, oh, there's a mine here. We all work here. Let's just live here.
Stores, everybody builds an economy. So I think that show is a great modern day version of like everybody wants to say fuck oil, and you're just kind of, there is a level of like, you're like, oh man.
I said I watched the first episode. I was like, oh, so the oil guys are cool, and then I turned it off. So I was like, this is propaganda.
The oil guys in the show. I look at the like there's because they got the heavy hitter.
It was Mexicanos, a good show.
Raza. They got the heavy hitter Raza in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Michael Pena. Mm-hmm. What's his name?
Billy Bob.
Not Billy Bob.
Emilio Alvarez.
Yes, Emilio Alvarez.
On it.
And then they have another like younger guy, but they're like 3 oil workers, like rig workers in the show.
And I love blue collar work in movies. That's the best
do a
shit.
Really. He's like, man, where else can a felon make 6 figures? That line alone. That line alone. He's like, there's a 22-year-old kid whose wife doesn't work, and he gets to take care of his 2 kids. Mm-hmm. This is what oil rig does for people, and I'm like, them people don't fucking care about your environmental law. Like that's just the simple fact of the matter, and people don't give a shit.
Their family can eat tonight and be warm.
Right. Your kids you paying. Some of these people pay for their kids through college. Like you can pay for your daughter to go to college because you live in Texas, where it's kind of like North Carolina, where they're very
traditional.
Robust, it's very robust Texas like school system and university.
Yeah,
system.
dude,
so,
Texas schools are.
Oh my god, dude, some of the best schools, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Like Texas A&M,
like Texas, every UTEP, even UTEP is a really good school. UT Houston, all of them, everybody's UT school system is a really robust school system. So I think that was a great.
Yeah, Taylor Sheridan, he left because we were talking about David Ellison the other day and how it's like fuck Larry Ellison, fuck David.
That wasn't
Ellison.
on the pod.
That was not on the pod.
That was us just talking yesterday.
Oh, okay. And anyways,
quick rundown. David Ellison, who's that?
He owns almost everything, but he owns Paramount. He's the CEO of Paramount. Yes. And Taylor Sheridan was like, all right, I'm out. And so now he has I don't know the details. I think it's just in funding for his projects, but it's $1 billion deal with Taylor Sheridan for Universal Studios. So he's going to Universal. And I think the $1 billion is probably like, we'll give you 3 shows and then, or however many, they say there's a 5-picture deal. I don't know how shows work. You know what I mean?
Shows are probably the structure for a show is probably so different.
Yeah, it's probably like you could do 3 different shows, 3 seasons each, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
And that $1 billion includes budget, paying that's everything.
Everything.
That's show running. That's everything. $1 billion.
And creative.
And that's not a lot if you really think about his caliber of shows. $300 million for 3 shows is actually not a lot of money if you start to break that down.
Because going into, I guess we can start talking about the business side of it. I just wanted to bring up, since the Oscars are coming up, I don't know when the Oscars are airing. As a movie person, I feel like I should know, but Ryan Coogler, who I hope wins all the awards, has that deal with Warner Brothers with Sinners, where after 25 years he owns all the intellectual property and owns all of the the rights, the royalties, masters, everything. Like Sinners is his movie 25 or 24 years from now. And that broke everything. Like I remember Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were talking about it, how it's just like he's a genius. Like Ryan Coogler has been that guy in Hollywood, but I feel like he only keeps bringing it to like, the more he succeeds, like he doesn't change the way he approaches, you know, making the movies. Like even with Marvel, he was like very like, I'm going to do it my way or I'm not doing it at all. And Marvel's going to be like, well, of course we need you. So like, yeah, do whatever you want. And then even with Creed, like being able to do all the shit himself, he still was able to produce on 2 and 3. But like, even like, I love how like, he's kind of like a punk rock guy, Ryan Coogler. Like he's very anti-establishment in a way. I know he's making big Hollywood movies, but it's like he's literally doing it his way, because he declined to be in the in the Academy after Fruitvale Station wasn't nominated for anything. And even though it won all the Spirit Awards and, you know, all those pre ones, there was 0 Oscar talk. And then I think with Creed, there was no nominations except for Sylvester Stallone's performance, but no Ryan Coogler director, no, even though that was like a weaker year. But Ryan Coogler, he's always just like done his own shit, and it shows. You know what I mean? With Black Panther, he made Black Panther, the movie. And with Sinners, because remember, and then even Sinners is a direct answer to them Marvel not letting him make Blade. It literally went and made Sinners.
They're not going to give that, because Ryan Coogler makes white people uncomfortable.
Yeah,
he's too black.
Every one of his movies makes people like. Did you see how mad people were about Sinners? Like, the discourse around Sinners is in,
and it
like,
only, and what's funny is it only made it more successful. Like it only, because any publicity.
What are you guys saying? White people are vampires? You're like, well, you know,
yeah.
I'm not saying that, but
I think
if somebody were to express that through art, I can understand why they would think that. I could say that part.
I have this book. I think it's right here. It's called The Dead Travel Fast, and it's about vampires like in pop culture and like throughout the thing. Because like in the beginning of the book, he literally talks about how he was like, it was one morning he decided to write this book because like one morning he was like eating cereal. He was eating Count Chocula, which is like a reference to a vampire. And then it was when Bush was president. He said on the news, he had like a speech where he says we have to get rid of the energy vampires, which is like we had all the big generators or whatever. Like we have to make sure we conserve our energy for the grid or whatever the fuck, when that shit was starting to become a thing. He said on TV we have to get rid of the energy vampires that suck out the unneeded energy. And but he ended up like kind of going down a spiral. It's like, why are vampires a thing? Like, why are they so prominent in everyone's like subconscious? Like like people use it as like a metaphor. There's movies, there's like in everyday life. He was just like, the more you like kind of open your eyes to it, it's like vampires are everywhere. And it's an interesting book, and talking about how like vampires aren't, it's not the Dracula. It's a type of person. You know what I mean? And to say, and I think Sinners kind of literally put that all into perspective, especially the blues, knowing what we were just talking, not on the pod, but we were talking about music literally yesterday, about how like the blues went from, you make it fast, you take the blues, which is these sad songs, these personal slow songs, then you speed it up and put like more of a beat to it, then it becomes rock and roll. And then later on the line you get soul music, and then you get other types of rock music, and then you get hip hop, which turns into another thing. They're literally in Sinners, they do that, like the entire culture.
One of the greatest scenes. People talk about that scene all the time. I'm in the theater about to start tearing up. I'm like, I just love this scene so much, because any kind of black music, soul kind of stuff, I just really get touched by it.
And yeah, I think that shit, like, that's movies, that's cinema kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like Ryan Coogler, he's one of those dudes, and I think
great.
I don't know if I said it with Angelo on the Beyond the Brand podcast, but like with people saying like where Hollywood's at and where movies are at and how like film is dying. And, like movie theaters are probably dying because one, they're expensive. Like you don't want to spend $90 to take your whole family to go see a mid movie. Like people are holding out. They're like, I'm only going to go see Avengers, or I'm only going to go see Spider-Man. I'm only going to go see Dune. Things like that. But I think as far as movies being like good movies being made, like dude, we have Christopher Nolan, we have Ryan Coogler, we have Denis Villeneuve, we have the Safdies, we have like Greta Gerwig, who just made Barbie. Like she, like I don't know, we have got like young people who like kind of have it in control. I feel like there's no like stressing over like the art of film, you know, being lost in society. Like it's going to be a lost art form. Like movies are too powerful. I feel like they're too. I don't think they're going anywhere as far as them being made.
Yeah, that's why David Ellison wants to, like, you know, that's why I think, what was his name again? I keep forgetting his name.
Taylor Sheridan.
Taylor Sheridan. That's probably why he left, because David Ellison is very not political. He's ideological, and a lot of his motivation for buying Paramount and stuff is because of he recognizes the power of media, because he recognizes what movies and the things that they can do. So he's one of those like media has been too liberal over the past 50 years type of people. So that makes a lot of. If you look at it though, I mean, it ain't like Taylor Sheridan is making these are like conservative shows. Like
they are, yeah.
Landman, Tulsa King, like you be like, yeah, man, I fuck with these niggas. You know they not rocking for none of that liberal shit. Yeah. I don't hate the character. Like you like, yeah, man, this motherfucker's American as apple pie.
Yeah,
like,
like it's just a good old boy.
Yeah, I don't hate these motherfuckers. I know you probably don't prefer to marry your daughter, but you probably are all right at the end of the day. You know, like there's a lot of just real life. Just you're like, that's America. Like you know, these Montana, Texas, like North Dakota, Oklahoma.
Yeah,
people,
these
those
like
are real like American.
That's like been America.
That's a majority of America.
Yeah, that's a majority.
If you think about it.
That is
us being from like a city.
Most of America's population lives on the coast. Even like you guys, like are closer to the coast. Most of us. But that is like when you think of like American culture, though. When people would say like, "What do you think American culture is?" I will point to like that area. And like if you're talking about like built on its own, kind of like on its own, not any kind of other influence from like French or Spanish or Native American or something.
Be like the Midwest.
They'd be those motherfuckers right there. Them motherfuckers. That's like American culture. Weird ass
like
food.
North Texas, Oklahoma,
just, North Texas, Oklahoma. Weird ass foods that we're just like, where did that come from? Who everything's made out of
just
Jello.
poor people food. It's just like putting gravy on mashed potato, like
casserole,
preservative heavy shit. Like it's very like
that's Great Depression
green beans,
leftover recipes.
Yeah,
for sure.
America's bread basket or the world's bread basket. Really, that's the world's like 40% of the grain in the world comes from Middle America. So.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's very. I think like 60% of the corn for the world comes from there too. So, very important people. I think that's why I really appreciate those shows. Like, what do they call them? Flyover country people. That's really fucked up.
Yeah.
They call them flyover country people. Like they don't give a shit about these people. And to make TV shows dedicated to them that are very captivating, and I think, like you said, based in reality. Just like even Pluribus is still kind of based in reality. Of like.
It's
nigga, this shit. I could see that. All of this seems pretty. Yeah,
it's
man,
just
even
like
the way that the disease is like. It's not like we're aliens and we're parasites and we're gonna shoot it into your eye and it's gonna wiggle in. It's just simple as like I spit in your eye, like they're kissing you. It's not even disgusting. They're just like, I'm just gonna kiss you.
Yeah, and I thought
and she
that
like
was
licks
funny.
the donut.
She's licking all the donuts and shit. Yeah.
And the
but also
with now the chemtrail shit, they didn't get they done fucked up the chemtrail. I said, y'all done got the conspiracy people. You know you got the conspiracy people out this joint losing their fucking minds. And you got that happening at the same time as Epstein. You got this is too much happening for everybody to latch on to in that show. Way too much.
I saw that. Rolled my eyes. I was like, you're fucking
And it was
kidding
like
me.
that. It was like however many hours or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
It was very
it was
quick.
hours that billion, at least like 4 billion, 5 billion people got infected. It was
Right.
hours.
It was very quick. Because if you have the knowledge and then you're able
Yeah.
to produce, and if you have no resistance, then things can happen very quickly.
Her getting up and just flying an AC-130 was probably my favorite scene.
Yeah, just flipping all the switches.
She was just like picking up bodies, and she goes, and then she just gets up and just walks off, gets on the moped, and just rides off. Just takes off in a military-grade aircraft, and just...
I know, like a fucking cargo ship or whatever the fuck that was.
Well, yeah, I used to,
Yeah, you
work on those bad boys, those things right there. That's no, wait, that's a 135. Never mind.
Hell yeah, shit's still sick.
But yeah, I just love that. I think that show is very I love Pluribus. Yeah,
Pluribus, it is a good show.
Did you watch Paradise?
No, I didn't. I only watched because I was gonna watch like first episode of Pluribus, and then the first episode of Paradise. But I was like, I have to keep watching.
You gotta keep watching, yeah.
But
because you would have done the same with Paradise, would have had you stuck until the 4th episode.
That
but I will say the new season starts in 3 days.
Oh shit!
So
this might be the perfect time to.
I would suggest maybe binging.
Because none of this really matters. Because none of this. Because none of this really matters. It really matters. It really matters. It really matters. Matters.